The Godzilla vs. Kong trailer is packed with reveals showcasing titanic battles between the two. Why has Godzilla gone rogue, and can Kong stop him? The eagerly anticipated trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong was finally released, and here are all the Easter eggs you may have missed. The MonsterVerse has been building up since 2014, introducing viewers to its own distinctive versions of King Kong and Godzilla. The promise was always the two titans would collide, and at last the much-anticipated grudge match looks set to be a reality, with the new Godzilla vs. Kong trailer going big. Hollywood has a proud history of versus matches, but they've often been underwhelming. Think Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, in which the title bout took only a few minutes after an entire movie's setup. The Godzilla vs. Kong trailer promises non-stop battles between the two titans, however, as well as an examination of the mythology underpinning them. If it lives up to this promise, it should be a classic. The MonsterVerse has moved at a slower pace than other shared universes, with just 4 films set in it over the last 6 years. Contrast that with the MCU, which can put out 4 blockbusters a year. As a result, viewers can be forgiven for having forgotten some of the details. Here's our full list of Easter eggs from the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. 25. Godzilla attacks a city. The first section of the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer serves to set up the conflict. The opening scenes show that what is clearly supposed to be a Godzilla attack upon a city, with military forces fruitlessly attempting to defend it, and civilians fleeing into the subways to hide. It's difficult to say exactly where in the world this is, but some of the architecture is reminiscent of South America. Later shots of the trailer will establish that it is not an isolated incident, but is rather one of many Godzilla attacks. The conventional military are useless against Godzilla's might, and all human beings can do is run. But there's also the suggestion that this is actually a Mecha Godzilla attack disguised as Godzilla and orchestrated by a nefarious human element. 24. Monarchs Scramble Kong as their only chance. A voiceover reveals Monarch has just one strategy left: to deploy Kong as a weapon against Godzilla. In truth, Monarch has learned from a bitter experience only a Titan can stop another Titan. They previously trusted in Godzilla to serve as humanity's protector, but now they need a defense against him instead. An earlier Godzilla vs. Kong teaser used some of this footage, with a different voiceover suggesting Kong is being used as bait. The aircraft carrier he's held on presumably belongs to Monarch, who are established as possessing a navy of sorts as far back as Godzilla in 2014. 23. Introducing Eliza Gonzalez's character, Maya Simmons. Monarch's Kong mission appears to be headed by Eliza Gonzalez's mysterious new character, Maya Simmons. Little is known about Maya Simmons, although Gonzalez has suggested she's a main character. "My Godzilla schedule was very demanding," she told The Hollywood Reporter. "I'm in the whole film." Demian Bichir has been cast as Walter Simmons, which presumably means that he's related to Eliza's character. The MonsterVerse has regularly featured family subplots in order to create a strong sense of human drama to the spectacle. 22. King Kong in chains again as a reluctant Monarch captive. Kong appears to be somewhat unwilling participant in Monarch's mission, with Kong the great ape held in chains and shown looking mournfully at them. It's interesting to note Monarch possessed chains that could actually hold a Titan, suggesting they've become a lot more used to dealing with such creatures over the years. That said, Kong may not be especially motivated to kick up a fuss, given he's hardly in his environment at sea. This shot naturally raises the question of just how Monarch captured King Kong in the first place, and the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer moves on to answer that. 21. Alexander Skarsgård's Nathan Ling says the world needs Kong. There's a brief glimpse of Alexander Skarsgård's character, a man named Nathan Lind, who appears to be one of Monarch's leaders. Set photos have given a more complete view of the jumpsuit he wears at points in the film, and the shoulders are emblazoned with the logo for Monarch. Skarsgård is no stranger to military roles, and he signed up for Godzilla vs. Kong because he felt like taking a break from darker, more intense films. Here he explains just how desperate a situation the world is in. Monarch clearly believes Kong to be its last chance against Godzilla. 20. Monarchs Fleet join Kong in his titanic fight. The Monarch Fleet is reinforced by fighter jets, suggesting humanity doesn't intend to simply sit this one out and watch. Rather, this desperate Hail Mary is envisioned as an alliance between King Kong and the world's armed forces, with the sole goal of ending the threat of Godzilla. An alliance of sort was the logical endpoint of the monsterverse to date, although granted it's surprising to see it going up against Godzilla, who has traditionally served as another protector figure. 19. Kong's motives explained. The MonsterVerse has always tried to treat its CGI stars as characters in their own rights, and as a result, the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer spends quite a bit of time setting up Kong's motive for the fight. He appears to be acting out of compassion, having formed a strong emotional bond with a girl on Skull Island. Then Monarch used this girl to capture him. The child is shown presenting a doll to Kong, and voiceovers reveal that she's the only one Kong can actually communicate with. It's currently unclear who this girl is or how she developed such a bond with Kong. Given that it is set up in the first act, future teasers and trailers will probably answer this question. 18. Kong is a protective god. The first section of the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer builds to a climax in a powerful scene in which the girl reaches out to touch Kong's finger. This image is reminiscent of Michelangelo's Buonarroti's painting of God and Adam on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, and suggests that this child worships Kong as a protective god. Appropriately enough, that is indeed the role humanity hopes Kong will perform on their behalf by defeating Godzilla. 17. Godzilla attacks the Monarch Fleet. Godzilla arrives on the scene in style, tearing through one of the Monarch ships with his dorsal fins. The shot contrasts markedly with the scene in 2014's Godzilla, in which Godzilla swam underneath the USS Saratoga rather than destroy it, indicating he was not by nature malevolent. This time, though, Godzilla doesn't bother to dive a little deeper, caring nothing for the havoc he leaves in his wake. The fighter jets respond by opening fire to no effect. 16. Godzilla swats a fighter jet out of the sky. The fighter jets may not have been able to hurt Godzilla, but he clearly notices them, because he takes the time to swat one of them out of the sky with his tail. It's a crucial reminder every inch of Godzilla's body is a weapon, one human beings are ill-equipped to stop. Again, though this degree of antagonism is uncharacteristic of Godzilla, and frankly more akin to that of the titans he typically opposes, Godzilla really has gone rogue. 15. Kong issues a challenge. Godzilla headbutts him. Kong displays typical gorilla behavior in issuing a challenge to Godzilla, attempting to assert his dominance. Godzilla, for his part, responds in kind, almost upending the aircraft carrier and causing even Kong to flinch back in shock. Previous films have shown Godzilla is able to track titans, so he may well have lured them into this battle. If so, the brief shot demonstrates just how foolish a decision the humans have made in taking the fight out into the depths of the sea. Godzilla's in his element, whereas Kong is restricted and can only depend on his brute strength, not his inventiveness or mastery of his environment. 14. Godzilla and Kong battle on the aircraft carrier. Godzilla has clearly identified Kong as his primary target, and the Titan claws his way onto the aircraft carrier in order to begin what is probably the first of several behemoth-sized brawls. The shots emphasize the sheer scale of the battle, with the shifting weight of the monsters causing the aircraft carrier to lurch in the sea, as if it were just a plank of wood. Another vessel in the foreground is ablaze, suggesting Godzilla crippled Monarch's fleet before taking on Kong. 13. Kong narrowly dodges Godzilla's atomic breath. Godzilla is knocked back into the ocean, and Monarch's remaining vessels attempt to reinforce Kong. But the Titan responds by unleashing his greatest weapon, his atomic breath. The focus in this shot is on the sheer power of Godzilla, with his atomic breath destroying the aircraft carrier. It's interesting to note Kong jumps from the carrier, perhaps sensing the impending attack, or hinting at a history between the two. If Kong had expected something like this, Godzilla is then shown departing, victorious, with Kong's fate unknown. 12. A tease of the plans for Mecha Godzilla. The focus of Godzilla vs. Kong's trailer is on the title match, but the official synopsis hints humans are the real villains. Apparently, a human conspiracy threatens to wipe the creatures, both good and bad, from the face of the earth forever. One shot offers a sinister clue as to the nature of the conspiracy, revealing what appears to be plans for Mecha Godzilla. The credits scene in Godzilla King of the Monsters revealed Monarch was building a mechanized giant on Skull Island, and merchandise was indeed suggested Mecha Godzilla will appear in this film. This raises a lot of intriguing possibilities. Has Godzilla been framed? Or has Godzilla gone on a tear because humanity has become an imbalance in nature? Either way, it's reasonable to assume the third act will see Kong and Godzilla team up against the robot. 11. Godzilla goes on a rampage. The next couple of shots in the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer emphasize Godzilla is on a rampage. The trailer structure suggests this is after his battle with Kong, but it isn't necessarily the case. This section of the trailer is dedicated to the mystery of Godzilla's uncharacteristic actions, and you'd expect those to be reflected upon throughout the film. In one shot, Godzilla continues to use his atomic breath as a devastatingly effective weapon and actually kills soldiers. 10. A map of Godzilla attacks, monarch ties, and cover-ups. The Godzilla vs. Kong trailer moves on to show an annotated map. It's an amusing indicator of just how much the MonsterVerse has developed since 2014's Godzilla, since it can be contrasted quite effectively with Joe Brody's conspiracy theory maps in that film. Now the world is openly discussing Monarch, the existence of Titans, and the reason for Godzilla's rampage. A number of notes on the map refer to a company called Apex, believed to be a cybernetics company. It's possible Apex is the company constructing Mecha Godzilla, and the real Godzilla attacks are on sites where Apex is conducting research. 9. The return of Millie Bobby Brown's Madison Russell. Millie Bobby Brown is back as Madison Russell, and she appears to be operating independently from Monarch, which is a good thing if Monarch is implicated in Godzilla's rampage. It's likely Madison was the one who compiled the map of Godzilla activity and consequently is close to figuring out the mysterious connection between Godzilla and Apex. Madison doesn't appear prominently in the trailer, but that may be a misdirect, and she may have a more sizable role. 8. The myths are real. The Godzilla vs. Kong trailer divides into several sections, and the final one is dedicated to placing the clash between those two titans in a mythological context. The myths being referred to are the legend of the ancient Titan War, teased in the redacted title of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This revealed ancient humans worshipped the Titans, but some developed a method of telepathic communication with them and consequently sought to control the beasts and weaponize them. There are disturbing parallels between this legend and Monarch's attempt to use Kong against Godzilla, and indeed it's possible the girl seen earlier in the trailer has a telepathic bond with Kong, akin to the character of Miki in the 90s movies. 7. A glimpse of a UFO and the Hollow Earth? This final section of Godzilla vs. Kong trailer contains a number of mysteries, including what appears to be a UFO in the background. Aliens were confirmed to exist in the MonsterVerse in Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Ghidorah himself was an alien. And there's been speculation others exist in the hollow earth at the planet's core. This is clearly an alien spaceship of some kind. Note the blue energy emissions. So it may suggest the battle between King and Godzilla somehow heads to the hollow earth. 6. Kong wields a deadly axe made from other titans? Merchandise for Godzilla vs. Kong has suggested that Kong will wind up using a weapon in his battle against Godzilla. A makeshift axe formed from one of Godzilla's dorsal plates, presumably ripped off during a brutal battle. This is confirmed in a single shot of the trailer, although again, note the context is unknown. There are several UFOs around Kong, perhaps hitting this part of the battle inside the hollow earth. The axe's shaft also appears to be a bone glowing red, as if to denote belonging to a titan with fire powers. 5. Kong confronts two new titans, Nozuki and Warbat. Merchandise links have also confirmed Godzilla vs. Kong will introduce some new MonsterVerse titans, notably Nozuki and Warbat. The first of these is a mysterious serpent-like creature with orange and yellow bat-like wings, reminiscent of Quetzalcoatl, one of the 11 missing titans in Godzilla, King of the Monsters. While Warbat's wings are red, it's possible these are male and female titans of the same species, akin to the two Mutus seen in 2014's Godzilla. The vegetation in this shot is interesting, reminiscent of a Jurassic environment, perhaps suggesting the Hollow Earth is a place where evolution has paused. 4. Kong and Godzilla are the last ones standing. The Godzilla vs. Kong trailer builds to a climax with the revelation of the two titular titans are the last ones standing from this ancient titan war, which apparently saw their ancestors battling against one another for dominance of the Earth. A number of the final shots are set in another city location, although note this time it is in daylight, differentiating it from other places seen earlier in the trailer, when Godzilla was shown devastating cities at night. 3. Kong roars as Nozuki and Warbat attack. Nozuki and Warbat soar down upon Kong, who stands and roars defiantly against them. Kong is once again wielding the axe formed from one of Godzilla's dorsal plates, supporting the assumption a lot of these final shots were taken from the third act. It's interesting to note there's no clear indication of Godzilla's presence in these Hollow Earth scenes, perhaps suggesting Kong will be forced to go on some sort of quest to enhance himself so he can defeat the other Titan. 2. Kong's axe absorbs Godzilla's atomic breath. There's another action shot of Godzilla and Kong at war, and this time Kong is looking as though he's winning as he hammers his enemy relentlessly. The city in the background is back to nighttime, confirming the various fights are being presented out of order, so it's safe to say the trailer is carefully constructed so as to conceal as much as it reveals. Still, Kong is once again armed with the axe made of Godzilla's dorsal plate, and it proves able to absorb Godzilla's atomic breath. The Godzilla vs. Kong trailer ends with a shot reminiscent of an amusing scene in 1962's King Kong vs. Godzilla, in which Kong shoved a tree down Godzilla's throat. But this time it looks as though he'll be using Godzilla's dorsal plate, and it appears to be far more brutal. 1. One will fall. Versus matches are a dime a dozen in popular culture, and usually they turn into team-ups. The Godzilla vs. Kong trailer assures viewers this will be an exception, with a winner emerging from the monster fight between Godzilla and Kong. At the same time, though, it wouldn't be a surprise to see the two titans team up in the end. They've both been treated as heroes in the Monsterverse to date, and there have been many hints of Mecha Godzilla and aliens, meaning something else is clearly going on here. And that's all, folks. I hope you've enjoyed our compilation. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this one. And thanks for watching.